Hi everyone. Today I want to show you guys how to make a healthy chocolate coconut smoothie. In order to do this, we want to keep it healthy. Obviously, the word chocolate brings to mind lots of sugar and all that kind of thing. Well, we can kind of keep that down and keep the nutrients up. So let's sort of get into what we have out here. The first thing we want to do is create a base. For a smoothie, you kind of want that texture that you have the smoothie sort of creamy texture. Most people use a banana, and I think bananas are good for you. They have a lot of potassium and things like that. But bananas are 45 grams of sugar per banana. An avocado is 17. And this avocado, also something you should pay attention to. There's something called the glycemic index. A banana is really bad. What this means is that all the sugar goes in, there's nothing to protect you from it, and it spikes your blood sugar. This, on the other hand, has a lot of fiber, which will help kind of absorb that. It's also got a lot of good fats in it. So this is a really good one for the glycemic index. So you don't want your blood pressure to spike. This is your friend. Also, it seems like it would maybe be a little gross, but you would be shocked at how well this works with other types of flavors. So, let me get this a little bit ready. We're going to use a whole one just to start this process. And I don't know, if you're ever choosing one, this one might be a little less ripe than what we would prefer, but it should still work. You can see that's a little bright green. We might want it to be a little darker. The outside's soft though, so it should work okay. But if you get them in their green color and hard and firm, you need to let them kind of rest for a little bit before you actually use them. And I actually will do this. I'm going to carve it out like this. Just sort of make our dump in there, and actually it feels pretty good, especially towards the top, so this should be okay. Like I said, you might want to find them a little bit more mushy than that, but it'll do. It looks good. As I, of course, make a mess. So there's that. The second thing that I want to do is add in a little bit of pineapple, and I'm sure there's a lot of better ways to carve out a pineapple than the way that I do it, but I simply go like this, make a line around that, go into there. I'm putting it in the blender, so I want to do that. Pineapple obviously is very high in carbohydrates and sugars and things like that, but it's got a lot of good stuff for you, and it tastes amazing. It tastes absolutely awesome with chocolate, so that's why we kind of add a little bit of that into there. The next thing that we want to do is we want to put in some flavors. So what we're going to do is, actually, this is a product called Nativa's Naturals. We get it at Whole Foods. I don't know, I think you can buy it online. Actually, I know you can. And they don't have their website. Oh, yes, they do. So if you look right here, it says nativasnaturals.com. Right up, I think right there. So this is goji powder. It's freeze dried in the powder form. So they have a goji berry one that's just a little berries. You could probably still use it if you have a good blender and that's the route you want to go. But I prefer the powder. And this stuff is really, it's a superfood. Vitamin A, iron, and vitamin C, as they point out on the front of it. But it's really, really great. And so we're going to put a scoop of that in there. It doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste really great. So the more, it doesn't hurt you to take it. Let's see here, 1 tablespoon is 5 carbs, no fiber, so be a little bit careful, but it's a great thing to have in there. This is cacao powder. Once again, it's the same as the goji powder, same maker. It's the powder. It is freeze dried, as I said before, so all the nutrients are there. It's just shredded up into a powder. To me, it's just easier to work with, but they have the nibs. They call them cacao nibs, so you can do that if you wanted to do it that way. this stuff has got, you know, it's really, really good for you. It's got a lot of fiber in it as well, and chocolate is actually not the enemy that you think. And you know, it's obviously it's pure, so there's not like a dairy deal going on. This would be about, I believe about like 9 grams. We threw away the package and put it in a container. I think about 9 grams per 2 tablespoons. If you want that chocolate effect, you're probably going to need 2, we'll call them liberal ones in there. Okay, so what we have here is we have the avocado is a good fat in there. The rest of it though is a little questionable, not from a nutrient standpoint because it's great from what's in it, but in terms of sugar, you know, that's the kind of battle that we have going on here. So the only thing protecting from the sugar is the avocado, and that's not going to be enough, primarily because of the pineapple, which can really spike your blood sugar. So what we do is add a straight up fat, flax oil. Flax oil is a plant source of omega-3. Most people don't get enough omega-3 at all, and it's a big problem. Most people get too much omega-6. Omega-3 and omega-6 should balance, and they should work together. Unfortunately, most people don't get enough of it. Omega-3 is mostly referred to when you hear fish, and a lot of people get fish oil, and that's wonderful. We take fish oil as well. This is a plant source, flax oil. So if you are vegan or whatever, the flax oil, that might be your route to go. We use it as well. I have 2 here. This is the unopened one. This one is, we got at Whole Foods. 365 is their brand. So this one's unopened, but I thought I would show it to you guys anyways. This one we just bought is simple at Vitamin Shop. Vitamin Shop's pretty much everywhere. It's the one we will use, and like I said, it's just because it's open, we're not preferring one over the other. The other thing with the flax oil is that it's a fat. So it's going to help balance out the smoothie so that we can enjoy the sugars, but the sugars don't wreak havoc on the blood sugar. That's the game here. So right now, the fat's coming from the avocado, but now it's going to come from the flax oil. And I'm not going to do all the measuring. If you look at this, 1 tablespoon, you would get 11 grams of fat, which is great. Also, just a side note, I actually eat it straight. I take a tablespoon of it twice a day. So, but if you would prefer, it just has a seed taste to it. It's really not bad. And it's not going to mess up the integrity of what's going on here. So I'm just going to do it this way. And that's probably, you know, close to 3. Thing is that this is going to turn into a lot of sugar, as again, natural sugars, but so you want to be a little liberal with the flax oil if you can be. The final touch is that obviously we have the avocado in here to create that creamy smoothie thing going on, but we also need a fluid of some sort. A lot of people use like almond milks and coconut milks, or even just straight milk. Those aren't the healthiest of choices. I think the milk being the worst. When you get into the coconut milk and the almond milk, they're good. They're decent choices, but there's a lot of processing that goes on in those. And so a way to make it super natural is to use just coconut water. As simple as that may sound, it works out really great. And the flavor's great, and it'll do the job in here. Plus coconut water, very high in potassium. It's a great thing. It helps your immune system, and it's really wonderful. So this is the Zico brand. I think it's Zico. I've never heard it pronounced. Zico or Zyco. I'm assuming Zico. You can find this at Trader Joe's and Whole Foods for sure. I actually think they probably have it at a variety of grocery stores. This is, 1 container is 1 serving. So that's probably about what we would need. The more that you put in, the more it's going to be a loose sort of experience. You could put less in and see how the avocado works with this in terms of making the texture that you want. So we'll just sort of pour this in here and see where we get. You're using a whole avocado, or we're just gonna do it. Call it a day on that. Okay, so it looks like we have everything in. Time to blend. See how she turns out. The first thing I want to do, I don't know, this is our Ninja blender. We really love it. We got it at Target. can't remember how much. It's maybe $150 or something like that. I don't know, maybe lower. Anyways, it has a pulse button on it. You can see that the avocado is sort of trapped at the top, so we'll knock that down. So if you've ever wondered what the pulse is for, that's what it's for, settling things. So now we're going to blend it. And you know, I don't know, everybody I'm sure knows how to make a smoothie. There's no expertise to this, but I let it settle. And you can see that this is, well, let's just take it off here, kind of let it move around. The coconut water, I put in a lot, so you're going to get a lot of movement. It's not going to be as creamy. I like it personally this way, but some people might like that almost pudding type consistency. It smells really good. So we're going to make it in here. You can see it's still pretty thick. And keep in mind, when you're blending, you're keeping all the fiber. So that's really good for your body and helping again with that blood sugar issue that can be happening. Remember, when your blood sugar gets out of whack, that's what causes you to be overweight, moody, all kinds of things. So let's have a try. That tastes really good. The coconut really adds in like a sweet taste. The pineapple, if you've ever had pineapple and like chocolate over it, like chocolate covered pineapple, I don't know if you've ever had that, but that's really what you're tasting. Anyways, you can make it 1,000 different ways, I'm sure.